Lieutenant Donald Gary, up from the ranks, 25 years in the Navy. His Medal of Honor citation reads, unhesitatingly, he risked his life to assist several hundred men trapped in a messing compartment filled with smoke and with no apparent egress.
When I found that peephole with the light in it and the door ajar and saw that little light in here, I was attracted to this compartment too. And I remember that as we came in, it sounded like thunder, and the ship was shaking like a cat would shake a little mouse. And I also remember of ducking under this ammunition hoist into a squatting position. Then I thought, this can't protect me that much. I might just as well stand up. After an hour and a half, I thought there must be some way out of here. And if there is a way out, I'll find it.
So, with the long lines of the men behind him, he groped through this ammunition hatch, along black passageways. Each man clutching blindly to the belt of the man ahead of him, gasping, choking, slipping in the ooze of scrambled eggs, cereal, and coffee grounds that had spilled from the galley.
Just beyond the galley hatch, I knew that I had to turn right and into the uptake spaces. That's the door I had to feel for. From there, down to the fourth deck. And then, in a stooped position, under main steam lines, until I came to the upright intake air duct. From there, looking straight up, you can see a faint light. And climbing 50 feet up, and looking from here, we could see the screen in the skin of the ship. And that was our goal.
Kicking out the screen, it was an easy drop to the catwalk below, and the first clean air in hours. 3 times, Lieutenant Gary went back to guide the trapped men to this point. And finally up a ladder to the flight deck, where the men, saved from suffocation, found everything in flames. For hours, the ship remained under savage attack from our own bombs, shells, and rockets. Gasoline poured over the side in a flaming Niagara. Below, men still were dying by fire, smoke, drowning, electrocution. Amos Shields, steward's mate first class, found his own way up after an agonizing search. In the Navy at that time, most Negroes ranked as cooks and waiters, but during battle, served alongside their shipmates as gunners.
There was about 100 of us on the ship. My duty was to serve the officers, but our battle stations were on 20 and 40 millimeter guns and on ammunition. I first attempted to come up amidship, and I was turned back by the flame. So I went across to the port side, and the same thing happened. So the thing to do for me was to go forward. And I started working my way forward through the officers' quarters, and I finally came up in this hatch here. At that time, I couldn't get to my battle station, so I started working, throwing off live ammunition and anything that was on the flight deck that would keep the ship from being in balance.
Like medics on a battlefield, other ships of the task force rallied to the wounded Franklin. In a daring feat of seamanship, Captain Harold C. Fitz rams his heavy cruiser, the Santa Fe, into the outboard catwalks of the still-burning Franklin, in order to lock the ships and hold them steady while bringing hundreds of wounded and unneeded personnel over a bridge improvised from Big Ben's fallen radio mast. Only some 700 of the crew remained to man the Franklin. Heedless of the continuing air attacks and the threat of further explosions on the Franklin, the rescue ships move in closer and closer. Cruiser Pittsburgh, standing by to take the Franklin in tow, throws a messenger line hitched to tons of steel cable. Big Ben's power winches are dead. With superhuman strength born of necessity, 70 crewmen hauled the cable through the sea by hand. Finally, at an agonizing 2 knots, the Franklin is dragged away south toward Ulithi Lagoon.
Well, all that long day from the time the bomb hit us in the morning, within arm's reach, it seemed, was one of my Marine orderlies, a young 19-year-old private first class named Wally Klimquitz. He was always there. He made me put on my helmet because he said that had been the captain's orders. He made me put on my life belt because that had been the captain's orders.
22 of his Marine buddies were killed that day, most of them by a direct hit on the Marine compartment.
I guess things were pretty rough at times, but we're all human, and I guess we all fear personal injury and even death, but somehow or otherwise, we had enough faith to stick it out. Thank God that things worked out. We're the fortunate ones that are here to relate the story to others.
Another story of faith was what happened that day to William Farrell, now a Roman Catholic priest.